Dub Nation, what's up? You're watching Golden State Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, greatly appreciate all of you for making today's show a part of your day. Coming up on the docket today, NBA free agency is going to be here before we know it. So we're going to take a look at some players who the Warriors could sign to add to this roster. But before we dive into all of that, make sure you share this video to let your friends, homies, family members know what we're doing, what we're cooking up here on the channel. Click that share button, select the Twitter icon, click post to Twitter, and then everybody out there who follows you might see it and say, wow, this is really good content. I'm going to subscribe to the channel because more subscribers equals more videos right here on Golden State Warriors Today. So on today's show, 5 free agent targets that the Golden State Warriors could add to bolster this roster. And I do think they need to bolster this roster a little bit to get back to that championship window because they were exposed to a certain degree by the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's hear from you first, though. I will say this free agency crop is a little bit thin as far as star players go, but some of those secondary players are pretty solid options. Name a player you think the Dubs should sign. Let's begin with the familiar last name, Seth Curry, the brother of Steph Curry. Can you imagine if these two are finally able to team up on an NBA basketball floor in the regular season? Seth Curry, a couple of years ago at the Philadelphia 76ers, he was a marksman from downtown, much like his brother, but actually his three-point numbers right on par, if not better, than Steph Curry. Now, he is not good defensively. That's a little bit of a problem. But on this team, he could get a lot of open looks, and I can guarantee you this. Like we've seen with Steph Curry, the Curry brothers could make it rain. Fansided with some information here that Seth, coming off a 4-year, $32 million deal, might be out of Golden State's limited price range. However, given he's yet to taste championship success, might be willing to take a discount to join the Dubs. Perhaps even more inviting is the fact that this will be the last time the Curry brothers could play together where they're both somewhere near their prime. His position and skill set, not the biggest need for Golden State, but he could be a valuable bench piece for a team that struggled in that aspect this season. And why I wanted to share that quote is because I think that there's a good point made there at the end. It's that the Warriors' bench production has been really weak the last couple of years as far as shooters go. Guys who can come in off the bench, drain some threes to just take some pressure and take the load off of Steph Curry's shoulders. Now, what's interesting is that Seth Curry's numbers were a little bit down with Brooklyn than what they were with Philadelphia, 9 points per game, but this is what you want to recognize here to the right of your screen. 46% on his field goals, 40.5% from three-point range. There are going to be a lot of teams in free agency who are going to be willing to pay Seth Curry a lot of money. The looming question for whether he comes to San Francisco or not, would he be willing to take less money? Now to Joe Ingles here. Prior to him tearing his ACL when he was with the Utah Jazz, this guy's a really cerebral player. The Aussie, another really good shooter in the association, but with the Milwaukee Bucks coming off that knee injury, a little bit of a down year for him. If there's a Warriors-style player available in this free agent class, Fansided said, then Joe Ingles might be the one, at least the realistic option that he might be and the Warriors could sign. An elite three-point shooter, Ingles always has the ball handling skills and passing skills to be a secondary playmaker and fit perfectly into the Warriors' motion offense. Now, you take a gander at his numbers as they compare to Seth Curry's numbers. Field goal numbers, solid. Three-point numbers, really, really good. Anytime somebody is averaging about 41% on their three-point makes, that is in that elite tier. But because of his age as compared to Seth Curry and really just the injury concern that still lingers with him, this could be a player who the Warriors could actually afford. And this could be a player who might take a discount, unlike Seth Curry, to join the Golden State Warriors. So what do you think, Dub Nation? Should the Dubs sign Joe Ingles? Y for yes, N for no. We always want you to join the conversation down in the comments section because when I'm off work, sometimes I just like going through the comment section and I'm like, are people going to rip me? What do they think about the Warriors? What are their answers to these poll questions? You know the deal. Get those answers in the comment section right now. Trey Lyles, pretty solid player for the Sacramento Kings. Could give the Warriors a little bit of size, a little bit of length, a guy who can kind of switch defensively to a certain degree. We saw him pop a little bit in that first-round series in moments against the Warriors before they came back and won that series in 7. Fansided on Lyles. This one might be a little less realistic, but if the Warriors want to fill the void that Otto Porter Jr. left, remember him, then Lyles a worthy option. Coming off a 2-year, $5+ million deal. He's 27 years old, maybe looking for a better payday, and will likely want to stay with the Sacramento Kings, where he carved out a nice role this season, and he really did carve out a nice role. The corner three is something that he does have down. The field goal numbers, not bad by any means. You're not going to expect him to pour it up, but you are going to expect him to be available. You're going to expect him to guard and play a couple of different positions. So Trey Lyles, another interesting name there for Golden State. And if you're liking this video right now, coming across the show for the first time, make sure you smash that thumbs up icon and you like the video. You know what I like? Betting on basketball, betting on football, betting on sports in general. I only like one sports book. That is BetUS. 125% deposit bonus for all of you if you sign up using that link in that promo code, chatsports.com/bet, promo code chat125. You put in $100, you get $125 back. Now to Danny Green. What's really the theme here of some of these free agency targets that we're talking about? Shooter and Seth, Shooter and Ingles, Shooter and Danny Green, Trey Lyles, switchable, versatile type of player. Unfortunately for Danny Green, I think his best days are well behind him. It was unfortunate that 2 playoffs ago, he got injured when he clashed with Joel Embiid, hurt his knee, had to get surgery. This past year with Cleveland, they put him in to the rotation in that playoff series because they were desperate, but he's kind of out of the rotation at the start of that series. Here's what Fansided had to say about DG. If the Warriors or another team think that they can get him up and running, then you're getting a high-level three-point shooter who's a competent defender who can fit into almost any system, that's a valuable player, as someone likely to come on a minimum-level contract. This guy, also a championship-level player. He won a title with the Toronto Raptors, won a title with the Los Angeles Lakers, won a title with the San Antonio Spurs. You know what the Dubs like to do? Win titles. And I know that he had limited action this year because he only did play in 11 games coming off that knee injury. That's partially why he was easing into the rotation against the Knicks. He was able to knock down like a couple of threes here and there. 43% from three-point range. Obviously, that's above his league average, but those numbers are skewed because he only played in those 11 contests. Make sure you subscribe to the show. Help us reach 56,000 subscribers. We are 872 people away from reaching that milestone. Bang, bang, Warriors gang. Naz Reid. That's our last Warriors free agent target here with this Fansided article. And if you want a backup to Kevon Looney, Reid could make some semblance of sense. That's what I think. That's what Fansided had said. He would be an ideal backup to Kevon Looney, giving Golden State an offensive-minded option that may even start in particular matchups where greater spacing is needed. I think the Warriors do need to add a little space. They continued by saying there's question marks on his capacity to fit in the Warriors' motion system, but the positives easily outweigh the negatives when it comes to the potential acquisition. Really good numbers with Minnesota this past year. 11.5 points per game. He is not a great rebounder. I think the scheme fit could be a little bit of a challenge, but when you were going up against the Los Angeles Lakers for Golden State, outside of Kevon Looney, I mean, you really didn't have a legitimate backup center. They were bereft of that spot, and that's why they were so thin. That's why Looney was so winded by the end of that playoff series. You could benefit from having a 5 who shoots the 3, but it does impact your defense to a certain degree. So last question before we hop on out of here for today's show. Appreciate all of you for being here with us once again. Favorite player on this list? Drop us a name. I'm going Seth Curry. What do you say? Let me know.